When you just sit in front of it. From South America. So it can happen that we touch some, and if we do so, it can result in a small stop of the boat, so I would avoid you to fall down on the boat.
What's your name again?
Yeah.
Okay.
In English, Peter.
Peter. How do you say it again?
From Pierre.
Pierre?
Pierre.
Pierre. Pierre. Pierre. I'm not good in the pronunciation.
In Spanish,
Or,
Pedro.
Pierre.
Pedro is with
Pedro. Peter.
better for you.
And Swiss Peter.
I get called Pete all the time, not Patrick. Patrizio.
Yeah.
So here you are on the Fjallsárlón lagoon. So it's quite not that much old lagoon because the glacier was not that far away before. The average depth of the lagoon is around 70 meters and the temperature of the water is above 2 degrees. So let's try to not get in the water. I think it's okay for you. If you have any question during the tour, feel free to ask. Okay, I will send some infos at some points, and then if you need precision or don't understand, you can also ask. No problem. Sorry? Seals, sometimes yes, sometimes no, because as you can see that the water is a bit brown, so it's not like dirty water, it's just because we have a lot of volcanic dust and rocks, so it's carried by the iceberg when they fall down off the wall, and then the iceberg melts slowly in, so it makes a little bit of sediment moving. So it gets this shady water that the fish are not liking too much. There is some fish I think, but not that many, because also the ocean connection is quite small. So it means that there is not that much to eat for the seals, for example. And sometimes we can see some of them, they come, they take the sun on an iceberg and then they go out back in the sea because they need also to eat sometimes. But here they can like maybe feel some quietness, I don't know. I'm not in their minds specifically. Yeah, the thing you can actually see on this iceberg is that there is different colors. Maybe some of them are more blue, some of them are more white. For example, the one we see in front of us, just over there, is a little bit blue-ish. We will see some better blue, but then it's because that the sun light is not touching them underwater. So basically, the most blue will be the part which is mostly underwater, and the most white part will be the part which is the most above the water. So because it is ice, it makes same effect as in your glass. When you pour like an ice cube in your glass, it makes a small effect that it will melt, and then it will find its own balance. So we can see that some of them are really look like flat, and some of them look like they tipped over a little bit, like the one just in front of us. We can see that there is one straight line above the water, and then it's leaning in the water. So it means that it's starting to adjust its balance because it's melting slowly, so it's moving, always moving. We say that iceberg are little bit, it's 10% of the iceberg is up to the water and 90% is under the water. So you can see that even the smallest one are following the same rules, but you can imagine if you look to the left, for this big one, how many of it is under the water?
It's floating? How deep's it? How deep's the water?
The depth is like 70 meters from the lagoon, and of course more you go to the shore, less you have like depth of the lagoon itself, and more you go to the glacier, a bit deeper it is. So yeah, here you can see what I was saying, exactly the straight line on the iceberg, and this is one of the things that see that is balancing. So maybe in 2 days it will be like totally on the side, and then it's just following his own movement. Then if you look, I will try to get close to a smaller one, like this one. If you look on the top of this smaller one, you can, it looks like a crust a little bit, so it is what we call the sun crust. It's like if you already have been to some snowy regions, it's make like a crust of the snow because the sun is heating it up, so it is like a little bit covering up the ice. And it's mixed with air that it makes this sound when you walk on it, on the snow. I will move a little bit forward to our left.
See where it's blue over there?
Yeah.
It's probably where it's most recently fallen out. We'd be very, very lucky if we saw something fall to that. Here, straight in front of us, we can witness one which is looking a little bit more dark. So I have a small question. If you think, like, what is the purpose of this dark ice? If you have any clues.
The focus.
Yes, volcanic ash. So basically, these icebergs are covered with volcanic ash and rocks. So it might be that they were coming from the side of the wall, that they are closer to the ground, or it might be that with the wind it carry all the ash on it. And most of the icebergs are here like a long time because it's only 2 degrees water and -degree ice, so it takes a lot of time to just melt in the lagoon. And you can see that you have 2 hills which are forming a V form in front of us. So this V form is actually the river that goes to the ocean, but it's, as I said in the beginning, it's a small river, so the iceberg as they are now cannot go to the river.
So they are slowly melting in here, and then they will start to go forward to the river when time will be, and also that wind have to first push them a little bit, and then they catch the steam of the river to go in. Then let's move more. So here what we can see is that these moraines over there are making kind of another loop. So 60 years ago the glacier wall was above here. So our glacier here we have Fjallsárlón is this is the name of this big branch we have. Fjallsárlón, every branch have a name. And then this branch was over there more or less 60 years 60 years ago. Yes, and we are losing 50 meters per year now. And let's say in the year 1300 it was little bit more up over there, so at least like almost up to the mountain, and it was really smaller one. And what happened is that we got this little ice age which take the glacier back down over there, because before 1300 it was here total flat, like it is the other side close to the reception and until the sea. So the glacier just dig all this thing up, and that's why we have some moraines. We call that this little fells on the side, and it's very steep straight on because it was just the ice pushing it like a bulldozer and making its own hole. After that it starts to like going back a little bit. It took first like 500 years to come to this point, and then after that 60 years to come to more or less the point it is today. So we are seeing that moving it more and more faster back.
How often does the piece fall in?
Every now and then. It's
Is it a day, a week? You never know.
You never know. It's a little bit nature, so basically the air, the rain, all the elements are affecting the glacier, so it's making the crack getting bigger and bigger, and at one point it will fall down, or it can also come from the bottom of the glacier, so it's a submarine calving, and then it's like a big plate coming back up. For example, the first day I was here this season, it was 1 week ago, I saw one calving, and then this week they saw one. Last week they saw one also, and this week for now nothing happened.
It's time. It's time.
We'll see, maybe.
Does it ever make a big enough wave here?
It
rock the
depends
boat?
of the piece. Usually you can hear it because the crack is really intense, and then the wave it can be like a 1 meter square piece, like a 100 meter square piece. Like it will make the wave in consequence of the falling.
I've seen videos of some huge.
Yeah, there is
And then
some
you
huge
have to-
waves that you can see most likely on the Arctic glaciers.
Arctic.
This one, but here we have like we have the biggest European non-Arctic glacier. So it's also a national park of Iceland. It's Vatnajökull National Park. So it's basically covering I think it's 8% of the country. And before of that, when it was at its full length, it was above I think something like 13 to 15% of the country in total, when it was like fully up. So basically here was not too much living people, because we have also under this ice wall, we have this glacier, we have 7 volcanoes, and one of them is the biggest one of Iceland. Can you just give me the name of the volcano? Kirovajokul. As you said.
And think about it as Oreo yogurt, like a cookie.
Or,
So this one have a big eruption and is still active, and this last big eruption made like 400 casualties in the surroundings of it, and all this area was covered with a black cloud that make the living impossible. So no grass growing, no cattle growing, nothing can be happen on this area. And then when it goes out after, it was a little bit better.
what year?
Sorry?
What year was that?
It was, I don't remember.
The 14th century.
14th century.
Yeah.
Wow.
1362.
Ja, das ist das.
So that black ice over there might be from 1362?
That is like,
Difficult to say, I mean, about
Yeah.
examination.
but yeah, basically it take more than 1,000 years that the ice come from the top to the bottom and then just arrive in this lagoon. And then it took also more years that it melt totally, and after that it goes to the river and to the sea. So basically the ice you can see might be the time that it was still kings in Europe.
Kings in Europe?
Kings in Europe.
Aren't
Yeah.
there still kings in Europe? Or
Was-
queens? Or queens?
Well, kings and queens, yeah. But basically some kind of end of Middle Age ice. And it's now coming in the glacier, in the lagoon after falling from the glacier. So. here you can see that what I was saying before when we start in departure, it's like having the white part of the glacier, of the iceberg, sorry, it's on our right, and the bluest part was the one underwater, because the spectrum of the light cannot go through the ice, so it doesn't make it look like white. Because usually the ice is transparent, so basically if the sun reaches the ice, it will start to make some colors, because the ice absorbs the lights of the sun. So for example, the white is reflecting the sun, so that's why we are seeing it white, and because it has a lot of air inside. So the small air bubbles that make the iceberg crack, it's also the ones that make the ice look white, a little bit like a polar bear. So a polar bear skin actually under his hair are black.
Really?
Yes, and we see it white because these hair are catching a lot of air, like a lot of light, yeah, and a lot of air, like air bubbles going in the hair of the bear. It's a little bit difficult to say. So all these air bubbles are catching up the heat for him, so it's insulate him same time. That's why we are seeing it white with the reflection of the sun. So here you can see that the white part are the most exposed to the sun, and the blue part are the one who just rise from the water.
Okay.
So if you want, what we can do actually, if you go by pairs slowly to the front, what we can do is I can take a small picture of you in front of the big iceberg. I will try to put the boat nicely before. Okay, so we can start with the first binoms. If you want me to take a picture, you give me your phone and I take a picture with this nice blue one in the front. And you can move slightly forward to the front of the boat.
Yes.
Yeah, like this, perfect.
Aber entspannt.
Alright. Alright, good. Then that, so you can come there, and then the next one can go.
Oops, go.
That's it. I will. Thanks. Nice.
Thank you.
Alright. And then slowly the last one. Perfect.
Multiple walks on the glacier.
Yeah, we and also some other companies have some glacier tours, but of course from here, for example, I cannot land you directly on the glacier because it's too close for me, because it will put all the boat in the unsafe distance. Because for example, the block you see there, and also the one you see more on your right, are some blocks who fall down from the glacier. So we want to avoid it to fall on our boat. But of course, yes, it's useful
The big
to.
trucks goes up.
Sorry?
The big trucks go.
The big truck goes to approach the glacier, and then you go to the glacier walk and maybe we visit some ice cave because we have a couple of them.
Okay.
But it's always better to go on this kind of terrain with some guides because
Yes, of course.
it can be really tricky and you have some deep holes and things like this. So you can
They drive big trucks on Langiokut, the second biggest glacier in Iceland, because Langiokut is kind of flatter and there is not many crevasses
okay.
in some places.
No,
For example, I'm not sure how they call it now. In the past it was called Into the Glacier, and it was human-made tunnel, ice cave inside the glacier, and the tour was taking you with the bus.
Don't we?
They had ice caves there.
Okay. It was good.
That was amazing. Yeah.
I will show you some pictures.
we use one of this ice piece.
There's a Calvin behind that. Oh! Heard it. Don't see any waves.
further from the world as we are, because it would put us in the zone that it can fall down on us or make a too much big wave. So what we can do actually now, if you want, I can take a picture of you in front of the glacier, and what you can see from the glacier also is only the out of the water part, because also it goes in down of the water. It's above 100 meters down to the water as well. And then the total volume of the glacier, if we split it up in like let's say for each of the human of the planet, we can all have 1 square meter of ice. So yeah, it's quite a big one. And then if we split it up and we want to cover the Iceland part with only ice, we can put up to 30 meters of ice on top of the whole island. Oh yeah, so we will take a montage of this big group in the front for the same process if you give me a phone. And then we switch to the next Instagram.
We'll send you a copy. So lucky to get all the sun.
I know.
I'm sure it's going to go away.
We don't have any Instagram, but
Yeah, but it was good also on Messenger for the friends.
thank you.
Can you tell where the Calvin might have been?
Sorry?
Can you tell where the Calvin would have been? Can you see any change in the ice?
The Calvin, yeah.
Do you think it was in that cove back there?
There is like some calvings, so basically all the blue parts you see on
Yeah.
the glacier was some recent calvings.
Yeah. But I heard one like 10 minutes ago.
10 minutes ago.
Yeah, you heard it. You didn't hear it?
Yeah, I
there
heard
was
it.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When we were driving here, but,
Yeah.
Because I wasn't on the water.
I felt
10
like it
minutes
was behind the.
but that was something really small.
Small?
I
Okay.
saw a piece of ice breaking off from the iceberg.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a piece coming down. from
Oh,
this
the back
iceberg.
side of that.
So it was like a,
Oh, okay.
like this kind of piece who fall down from this big.
That's where we heard that noise from.
It wasn't like that.
Okay.
Calvin.
Okay. Wow. To me, that noise sounded
Yeah.
a little big.
But
So
was
it
a
can be
small-
really big when this piece comes down? Really loud?
like even louder, like when the big piece is falling down from the glacier, so you can see.
You hear it
something.
cracking probably before it.
You hear the big crack like
Yeah.
ripping a tissue off, and then you hear it from the reception. Exactly.
Acho que ficaram.
Yeah, as you can see, for example, behind me, you have this part which is on the edge, and with the crack already done, like straight behind me. Like this part will be probably calving soon. We cannot say when because we don't have that much measurement. Thing. Maybe in 5 minutes, maybe in 2 hours, maybe in 1 year. we can wait for problems. And then, well, as you can see behind me right now is also we have some actual mountains which were there before. So it haven't been formed by the glacier, but if you look at some of the mountains, for example, you can see some stripes on it. So these old stripes, I'll try to put ourselves like straight in front of sun, so you don't have to turn too much around. For example, if you look like the mountain which is just over there,
you can see some pretty much scarps on it. So all these stripes was the glacier before.
Yes, yes.
So all this is shaped by the ice of the glacier, and this was like the glacier was pushing down and down, and then it melt and pushing back and back. So that's why we are seeing these scarps now. And all this is the effects of it. Like it's
Globally.
the,
Globally.
there is a
Yeah.
there is a couple of different theory on this one, because for example in Switzerland they try to put some covers on some of the glacier to avoid it to melt too fast, but it worked in the first years, and then the next year after it just come back to the normal like melting of the glacier.
Yes.
And even on some glacier it was going faster melting with the top.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Like a greenhouse.
of course it's going more and more back, but as is always a few of the years, for example, you remember well in when I said in the beginning, in the year 1300 it was up to the mountain, the glacier, and not even down. So then it got the cold ice age and the little ice age, and then it comes back down to the mountain to the ocean, and then now it's starting the exact reverse process. So we never know, but scientists, I'm not that much of a scientist, but most of them are like saying it will probably disappear, but we never know like when it will disappear. So it depends a lot. Of course, all the global emissions are probably playing a role with it, that with the ozone thing and more sunlight coming. But also if we get interested to the course of the Earth, like every year, we don't feel it, but every year the Earth is coming closer to the Sun, because it's orbital, and orbital is going always like closer to the gravity center. But then it's so small that we don't give an hint of that, but it's also maybe playing on this role about this heating up on everything. So, we will start our way back. So on the way back, if you have any question, don't hesitate.
żartuję. On nie jest dzisiaj tutaj kobiety, tak?
She gone.